Hello everyone, Time to Grind here, and today I wanted to talk about Broomstick League. And Broomstick League is pretty much, if you've ever watched or read Harry Potter, you know about Quidditch. And it's pretty much just this sports game that is kind of fantasy, where you're a bunch of wizards and you're flying on flying broomsticks and throwing balls in goals, and it's a ton of fun. And actually, there was a older Harry Potter Quidditch game back in the day. I played it on the PlayStation 2, I think it was on PC, and I'm sure it was on Xbox as well. But it's pretty much just a modern day of Quidditch, and that is really, really cool, because if you try to go back and play that Quidditch game, it's fun, but it is definitely dated a little bit, so it's really nice and interesting to have this modern day Quidditch. And right off the bat, when I first started playing it, it gave me very huge Rocket League vibes, and I think that's a good thing, because, you know, Rocket League, it kind of just made its own little fantasy sport, but it takes itself seriously in that sport type of game, and it was kind of one of the first big ones that I saw to do that, to kind of just create its own sport and just take it really seriously. And I think that that's what this game is trying to do, and it feels really, really good. And it has a lot of really interesting mechanics in it that make it way more in-depth than I remember the Harry Potter Quidditch game from back in the day being, because that felt like it was just very simple, very basic. It was kind of just, you know, have fun playing Quidditch, but it's not like this is going to be an e-sport or anything. But there's a lot of interesting mechanics in this. So first off the bat, obviously you have boosting, so you have like fuel or stamina or magic, whatever you want to call it, that allows you to boost and go faster for a certain amount of time. Then you have rolling, where you can do like barrel rolls in different directions. You have blinking, so you can actually hold down, like right click if you're playing with mouse and keyboard, and the longer you hold it down, the further you will blink, so you can just straight up teleport. And then obviously there's knocking out, but the way the knocking out, you know, the ball out of people's hands is very interesting, because you charge up your attack, and the longer you're charging that up, if you hit the ball or someone holding the ball, that'll make the ball go flying even further. So if, say, someone's about to attack you, or, you know, go past you with the ball, or you're the goalie, if you're holding that attack and someone throws it at you and you hit them, it will go flying, and it's really, really satisfying. But those four main mechanics, you know, there's not a ton of them, and so it makes it where it has a very, like, low skill floor, but an extremely high skill ceiling, in my opinion, which is, like, the best thing possible for a game like this, because you don't want to make it super overwhelming to get into, but you do want it to have a lot of depth, especially if you're trying to take yourself like an esport like Rocket League tries to do. And with those mechanics, there is a really, really good tutorial. I think it only took me about like 10 minutes to beat, and it just goes over all of the mechanics that are in the game, and, you know, teaches you how to do them and stuff like that. And it's a very easy tutorial, but by the end of it, I felt very confident in knowing how to use all of the mechanics that was at my disposal. And that's really good, because, you know, with Rocket League, I think it is a little bit harder to get into Rocket League and know all the mechanics and do good with it. And, you know, that's not necessarily a bad thing about the game. It's just because it's so in-depth, it has a kind of higher skill floor, and makes it a little harder to get into. But Broomstick League seems like it's a very easy game to get into, and it also has a lot of depth that makes, I could see, competitive level play really, really fun to watch. And overall, this game is extremely polished, way more polished than I was expecting, because this game is going to come out in early access on March 5th, so it's not even getting a full launch at March 5th, and yet it already feels really polished to me. The UI, the menu, all of that seems really, really good, and on top of that, there's a lot of customization already in the game. So right now in this kind of beta, there is just all the customization unlocked, but eventually, obviously, you will have to unlock them more, whether that's through buying or just leveling up or anything, however that system's going to be done. It seems like there's a lot of it. There's a lot of like broomstick trails. There's awesome things you can put on your cape. So in the gameplay, I have like this little squid that I put on my cape. That was pretty cool. You can customize your character with hair color or skin color or just hairstyles. All of that good stuff is really awesome, because you're going to be looking at your character a lot. And I think they're trying to take a page out of Rocket League's book, which is just, you know, have the core gameplay, and just cosmetics and customization is going to be the main way they make money, I believe. And that's fair. I think that's really awesome, because then, you know, all of the future content, whether that's just reskins of maps or anything, but it'll be free, and it'll give people something to do. And on top of that, the map variety is pretty cool. I don't think the maps change necessarily like the sizes of them. I think all the maps are either very similar or the exact same, but just the variety in what they look like. So you have one like snow map, you have one that looks like it's a Harry Potter castle and you're playing, you know, a school game. There's one where you're kind of in like this sand level and there's these two huge frog statues that are letting sand out of their map that are going in the map, and it's really cool, and it just seems so polished, and it honestly feels like it's already, like, it doesn't need to be in early access. But I'm sure, you know, I think they are wanting to add things like ranked and competitive and stuff like that, and just add a lot more polish. But overall, it doesn't seem like a game that's going into early access that's going to need a lot of work. It seems like you could start playing this now, and in 6 to 8 months it will probably already launch in its, you know, full game. And going along with kind of just the polish, the sound design is pretty on point too in this game, especially things like when you throw the ball and it hits the rim of the goal instead of like going in. It makes this super satisfying but also not satisfying sound, like this perfectly satisfying sound to just make you feel bad, because obviously if you hit the rim of the goal you're not getting a point. So it makes this like perfect little ding that like kind of just, it makes you feel angry, but you can't be that angry because the sound, it just sounds so satisfying to me. And I don't know if I'm being weird in thinking that, but I love the sound design in this game. And on top of that, just in general, flying around on broomsticks is a blast. So beyond super analyzing these, you know, mechanics and the customization and the polish and the sound design, you know, besides over analyzing literally every aspect of this game, you gotta just take a step back and be like, okay, all of that is fun, but you want to know what else is fun? Just flying around extremely fast on broomsticks, hitting each other and blinking and doing barrel rolls and throwing balls and goals. Just the core gameplay is so much fun to me, and that is ultimately what I think is going to matter in a game like this, because people play Rocket League because Rocket League is insanely fun. They don't play Rocket League because they can customize their cars and they like, I mean, I'm sure a couple people do that, but they're also doing that because they like the gameplay of Rocket League, and I think this game hits it dead on. You know, if you go back and you play that Harry Potter Quidditch game, it feels kind of like clunky. Like it's almost like one of those stereotypical like football or baseball games where you're just like passing, and there's passing in this game, but it kind of just feels more like free and more open and roaming, if that makes any sense, in a game. It doesn't feel like you're limited into just like locking on and throwing the, you know, passing it just perfect on. It feels like the balls have arcs. When you hit someone and their ball, you know, flies all over the place and it bounces on the invisible walls, it feels like it has awesome just kind of pass and stuff. It doesn't feel artificial. It just feels natural and smooth to play, and I really love that. This game is insanely fun to just play. And, you know, I don't know if it's a game that I see myself playing like thousands of hours in and getting super into the competitive and playing constantly and getting all the customization things, but it's just because that's not necessarily the type of game that I want to sink a billion hours into. But I definitely think it is a game that if you are into these type of games like Rocket League, if you're a huge Rocket League fan, I could totally see you spending hundreds of hours in this game, because it kind of gives off similar vibes. And I think it's totally a game that I think will succeed, especially in esports realms, if it tries to pursue that, which I think it will. I think it could totally do that as well, and I think it's a great game. So the game comes out on March 5th in early access, so we'll have to kind of stay tuned for that and see what the details of that are and stuff like that. But just from playing this open beta weekend, kind of before the game comes out, I'm very, very impressed with this game, and I can't wait to see what happens going forward with it. But if you have played this game, or just from watching this gameplay, I'd love to know your opinions down below. You know, does this game look like something you would be interested in? Also, if you have any other games that are coming out or just came out that you'd like me to review, let me know in the comments down below. Love taking recommendations from you guys. And if you enjoyed this video, then consider leaving a like down below and subscribing to see more content. New videos come out probably 2 to 3 times a week. And if you guys are having a great day today, I hope you continue having a great day. If you guys aren't having a great day, I hope you guys start having a great day. But either way, guys, I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. See you guys next time.